Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics, where we are back on the 67 Camaro. Had a big delay on this, partly because I had other stuff to work on and waiting for the the front. I want to do a disc brake conversion and replace all the front end parts on this bare frame, which a subscriber gave me. So thanks to him, I got another frame. The other one was done a Dukes of Hazzard. All this underneath was crushed. Is no good. So, you know, all the auto parts are doubled through the roof due to tariffs. So, you know, I didn't want to buy all the parts at the time, a few months ago. Waiting on this, we're waiting on the Supreme Court to rule whether the tariffs are illegal, which they are, and the case is already up to the Supreme Court. They had their deliberations the other day, and from all accounts, it sounds like they'll tell Trump that it's illegal for him to do the tariffs. So, but now they say could take it could take weeks, could take months, probably the springtime before it's announced. They rule. So, what am I going to do? Just sit here? And then, you know, it's Trump has vowed if he loses to use some other obscure War Powers Act to impose tariffs again. So then we start all over again, over and over. So, and then now to go to court, and then he'll lose that. Then he'll do another one. Apparently there's 2 or 3 of these War Power Acts that he can use to impose tariffs and all this stuff. So it's going to be never ending. It's just more uncertainty for businesses, people that are buying stuff. You can't just put off stuff. You got to either go out of business or pay the piper. So I bought all the parts. Yeah, the Supreme Court has got to rule whether, you know, he gives refunds. Got to give it all back or not. So we don't know. Yeah, the businesses will get a refund, but will we, who buy it from the businesses? So that's going to be a little complicated there. Probably get, you know, 1,000 refund checks for $1.50 each or something. But yeah, maybe there'll be a big class action lawsuit there for all the individuals. All my records are on eBay. Go on all, you know. You guys save your receipts, because there could be refunds coming. Okay, so I bought everything. I wanted the same kit I bought for the Nomad, which was the disc brake conversion, and but with tubular A-frames and everything. Well, I did away with the tubular A-frames to save a bunch of money, because the guy that gave me that A-frame, he gave me these, or the subframe, give me these A-frames, and he had rebuilt them. We don't know what brands they are, but he put in new ball joints and new bushings and everything. I painted them. So after he rebuilt all this, he decided to go with A-frames, or tubular A-frames. I had 415 these and that. 415 is not UV resistant. So when you have them out in the sun, they're going to fade. I wanted to put some regular car paint over top of it, but I may do that later. Okay, and that's the same with this bottom here. I had 415 the bottoms a while ago, and then just lately, a few days ago, I did the tops. Yeah, I got the new rubber here, new seals here. So we're going to use the factory stuff instead of tubular A-frame, save a bunch of money. A lot of stuff has just gone up way more than others. Everything is just way up. Even the front end steering stuff. The center links, the pitman arm, idler arm, tie rods, all that stuff used to be dirt cheap. Now it's probably about tripled. It used to be about $100 for all that. Now it's $350 is the cheapest. I got it for maybe $100 less. I pieced together instead of buying a kit from one person that was $350. I bought, you know, the tie rods from one place, the idler arm from another, center link from another, pitman arm from another, and, you know, tried to save money that way. So now we got, see, I'd rather buy the whole kit from one person. That way it's supposed to all fit. Well, supposed to. You know, we had problems with the upper A-frames on the Chevelle one that didn't fit from some other car. But you would think you buy the whole kit from one person, everything should fit. Whereas you buy a piece from here and a piece from there, and hopefully it's compatible. I don't know. Okay, so I think I got everything except for the only piece I didn't buy was a new sway bar. Bought the sway bar end links, sway bar bushings, but I didn't buy the new sway bar. So the only stuff that I didn't buy was everything to mount everything, all the bolts and crap. So here's the old A-frame here, you know, the bolts that bolt on the A-frames, the bolts that mount the steering box. I had to replace that too. I bought a power steering box. Whatever engine and stuff that goes in this, well, I want power steering. So we got a new power steering box, pitman arm, idler arm. I'm going to use the bolts from that. The center link, a new one of them, and then the outer, inner and outer tie rod ends and sleeves. If you ever buy tie rods, buy the sleeve. Don't sit there and fight with these trying to clean them and wire brush them for 2 hours trying to fit new tie rods in. They're only a couple of bucks. Just buy new sleeves and turn it by hand. Okay, so basically we got to tear down this whole front end anyway because we need all the bolts. Need this big bolt here, the pitman arm. I didn't want to try to fight and get this one off. That's why I just bought a new one. It's got a ball joint thing in there, so anything with a ball joint type thing we're replacing. The well, the center link I was going to reuse, but because it doesn't have any joints on it. See, this is part of the tie rod, this is part of the idler arm, and so on. So we could have probably reused that, but doing Dukes of Hazzard jumps with it, I figure it might be a little bent. Might as well. Why fight it? Now the sway bar, same thing. I thought about getting another one, but you can see here the sway bar links all. Coil, front end kit does not come with coil springs. Had to buy them separate. This one's got all spacers and you know, how old is this? 67, so you know, 50 odd years old. So that's why everything needs to be replaced. Yeah, it's just got drum brakes on the front. That's why we're replacing all that. The front end kit will come with all the spindles, rotors, the soft brake lines here. Now what I also bought was the new, these may not fit, although they said it fits drum or disc, but the hard brake lines here, I got a box with them in it, because you know these are most likely clogged up. So we may have a problem with them, but that's okay. As long as we can get like 90% of this stuff on there. And it's been so long, not real long, a couple weeks. But we need to make sure everything fits before we, in case something doesn't fit, like the Nomad top A-frames, and we got to send them back. You know, we want to probably do it within 30 days to be on the safe side. So, also bought new motor mounts. This one's bent to shit. This one's missing. I bought 2 motor mounts. Though the bolts are missing, we could probably round them up. There's 2 bolts there. We'll go ahead and bolt them in there. We haven't decided on an engine transmission yet. It depends on what comes in. Oh yeah, okay, so this brake line here, and then this brake line here. Is there another one there? No, maybe not. We got to open up all the boxes, check everything out. So yeah, it comes with the rotors, the calipers, the brake pads, these brake lines, master cylinder, brake booster, you know, the spindles, the wheel bearings, everything. So we need to unpack all that, make sure it's all in there. I just got, and yeah, most of this stuff is made in China. So, the other thing with waiting on this is while we're waiting on the Supreme Court, Trump decides, you know, wakes up in the middle of the night sitting on his golden shitter and tweets out he's going to 100% tariffs on China November 1st. So I was like, ah, shit. So that's why I ordered all the stuff by November 1st, because everything was going to double again. So now apparently, you know, they made a deal with China. No, nothing in writing, no contracts, no nothing, just word of mouth that we won't do the 100%, and we're going to take 10% off the fentanyl tariffs, and because we want our rare earth minerals there to, so you can, you know, build more weapons to bomb more countries. But I would say there is a 100% chance that he'll wake up in the middle of the night and tweet out a 50%, 100% tariff on China. Something will piss him off, and it'll be up again. So, like I said, it's so uncertain about prices and stuff like that due to that. So that was another reason. Let's buy it now before it doubles again. It's already doubled, well, you know. So, you know, the economy's going to shit, guys. I know some people don't believe it. The job numbers just came out yesterday. He's already lost 1 million jobs so far. It hasn't even been a year. 1 million jobs have vanished. Thousands of businesses are bankrupt and gone. Small businesses gone forever. Everything's up, inflation. So the economy's going down the shitter. But some people, you know, still, oh, the tariff money, it's paying down the national debt. No, it's not paying down the national debt. It's not doing nothing. It's all bullshit. So far, he's added $2 trillion to the debt. $1 trillion of it is in the last 2 months. They're printing billions of dollars, dumping it into the bond market to prop up the U.S. dollar because it's fallen down. Everything's going to shit. And the media, and you won't hear it from the administration or the media very much, but we're in a massive, massive bubble due to AI and Trump's policies, and everything's fixing to come crashing down. So, you know, be prepared. So, anyway, I got all these boxes of stuff here. These are empty boxes. I need to get rid of them. You got the coil springs over there, shocks. It doesn't include the shocks. So we're going to unpack everything. You got coil shocks. We got a few parts for the Mustang in here, and a few parts for the 81 Camaro. And what was, we'll probably go over this later, but one of these, some of these parts, you know, I look at where everything's made from. That's where I got off track there. The front end kit is China, made in China, as Trump would say. So all the other individual parts I was buying, trying to make it cheaper, we got a new auto parts manufacturer, guys. Turkey. Anybody buy any parts that were made in Turkey? No. So that's what these companies do. They, I think it's all China. China makes the stuff, and then they send it off to their allies. Well, you know, it used to be Vietnam and Thailand and stuff, and they just, you know, made in Vietnam sticker on there, but it's really Chinese. Give Vietnam a little cut. Well, now it's Turkey is the main one, because, you know, they were having India do it, and then Trump, you know, woke up in the middle of the night, 50% on India, more on India. So they just, it's like whack-a-mole for the Trump administration. That they know it's happening, but they can't do nothing about it. So now we got Turkey. Turkey's in on the game. You know, Turkey plays both sides, so they're in on it. So anyway, okay, so let me get all the parts. We'll probably lay them out here, and we're going to try to do this in the next 2 days, because it's going to be 80 degrees for the next 2 days, and then all of a sudden we got 2 days in the 50s. Although it shouldn't be too bad to work in, but I like to get it done before and then after the 2 days in the 50s, it's going to go back to the 70s. So we want to we don't want to leave all these parts out and stuff for more than 2 days. No rain in the forecast. So yeah, let's unbox all the parts and we'll go through it all. And I gotta put some of this cardboard and stuff back in the shed. Okay, I'll be I'd like to get that the A-frame's real easy to move with the 2 tires on there. Maybe I'll move it over here, be a little bit easier to see it, work on it. And then after that, it's all going to go in a junk car and over the scales and be crushed, because it's nothing on that is worth saving. I mean, I'll save the pieces, but the subframe itself, it's going in the trash. It's no good. Okay, so let me get some stuff done. Yeah, I got these 2 tables. Maybe I can start. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll empty the parts out on this table and go from there. Take a look at them. See if first thing we're going to do is the steering box. Take off these 3 bolts here. Sometimes those bolts are been rusted and they're really thin on the inside, so we may have to take, I think they're the same for all the years, so I got those 77 Camaro parts cars. Well, might have to go over there and take some bolts off and stuff. So we'll check them out. But that'll be the first thing we'll replace, is that steering box, and then we'll start. I may have to go up to AutoZone. I should have bought one, a coil spring compressor. Usually go to AutoZone and get a free rental, and may have to do that. Not today, but like tomorrow morning before we start. May have to go up there and get that, so we can spring the springs and A-frames in there and get the spindles bolted on. Sometimes you can do it with just a jack and get that coil spring just on the lip a little bit, and then jack it up, and it'll compress itself enough to get that spindle bolted on. But we don't know. Okay, well, yeah, let me clear out this table. Yeah, I got these from my neighbor, but I got nowhere to put these tables in the shop. So I don't know. I guess they're gonna have to stay outside. They're gonna deteriorate being made out of wood, but not much I can do about it. But yeah, we'll get the parts laid out here. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, these are all the stuff I had to buy separately that were not in the front end disc brake conversion kit. Steering box, tie rod ends, pitman arm, idler arm, motor mounts, sway bar end link, sway bar bushings, center link, and the front coil springs. I matched it all up. They all seem to be the right parts. Got the burn barrel going, burned all the boxes and everything else. So now we're fixing to unload the stuff that came in the kit as one unit. Okay, so like this one here is the brake booster. Some brackets and stuff there. So we do this with two hands, burn some more stuff, and we'll lay out all the stuff that came in the kit. Make sure it's all there. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, now there was other stuff I bought separate. Here's the brake lines. We don't know if they fit, so doubt I'll try to return them. Then the front shocks. Okay, so that's all the stuff that didn't come in the kit. What come in the kit, this was in one separate box. Brake booster, master cylinder, proportioning valve, all the little stuff there. And then this big box here, which I'm fixing to cut open. That should be all the rotors, calipers, brake pads, stuff like that. Okay, let me unload all that and I'll be back. Okay guys, this is what came in this big heavy box. 2 slotted rotors, 2 spindles. I didn't order the drop spindles. I know that's real popular, 2-inch drop. No, we don't want no lowrider, no dropping car. The 2 dust shields, 2 calipers with pads, real skinny brake lines, but some of this did come with hardware. These nuts and bolts here, and bearings for the spindles, and caps and seals, and then the deal the calipers bolt on. I forget what they're called now, but anyway, that's what comes in the kit with the master cylinder and brake booster. That's what you all get for $550, I think I paid for it. But for everything, you know, it's probably $1,000 for all that, you know, other stuff. We'll have to add it up in another video. But yeah, I got everything written down. It's recorded in eBay purchases. But yeah, I spent, you know, well over $1,000 on that, and shit. I got parts for the 2000 Mustang. I got parts for this, that 172 for the dash cover. We got that coming. the bumpers and front end parts for that Mustang, the compressor. Yeah, I probably spent close to $2,000 in the last month. You know, who knows what that is in tariffs? Probably 700-800 of it's probably tariff money. Every month I'm gonna pay that. It's like a friggin' mortgage payment every month, paying damn tariffs. Okay, so yeah, let me get all this stuff over on the table, and we'll start putting stuff together. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, the bolts are good. I said sometimes they'll be all thin in there from the rust catches in these holes, but anyway, they're all going in there. Anyway, I'm gonna put them on. As far as the pitman arm, it looks like there's 4 keyway looking things there, so I'm not sure how to put that on. We want it, I don't know, I guess in the middle. We'll put that on later, and then we'll hook up the steering column here in a little bit. Okay, let me start taking some of these bolts off. And we'll start with this A-frame here. We need these bolts here. We'll see what I think that's for a standard. I'm not sure, but I think that's for a, because it was originally a standard shift. So change over little things like that. 2 bolts for the idler arm. We'll take them out, and then, like I said, we'll just break loose all these for the bolts. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, had to take the nuts and bolts for the top A-frame off, got them in there. Then the 2 bolts for the bottom A-frame. I don't have them tight yet because might have a problem getting that coil on there. So I just kind of set this on there. I'm not sure if that's the way that goes. We may have to take that apart on that Camaro and see. But we need to make sure that's right. So this is the spindle here. So this sets on that lower ball joint like that, but I forgot what that's called, the knuckle or something, I don't know. See, what we're going to try to do later is get that coil spring, if we can get that lip over here, and then you just jack this up and then connect this to this top A-frame here. See, I'll go right like that. Okay, so we got to take off this one. Is this right here? I think my other front end kit for the Nomad came with this. Maybe not. But anyway, they bolt in there and then hook to the tie rod. So I'll take that tie rod in. Anyway, I think that's all we'll need. All the bolts and everything are out of here. This should just slide out of there, but and I took the bolts for the sway bar right there. We may have to take off. Maybe not, but little clips and stuff. Other than that, that's pretty much this side. Of course, we'll take these brackets. That'll be the next stage there, is all front bumper brackets, bumper grill. We got the fenders and the core support, but we need a lot of stuff. Put that front end together. Yeah, that'll be another stage. But anyway, let me get that little deal off there and see if we can line this up. And then we'll try to get one of these coils in here. If not, I'll mark that down on the list to get tomorrow morning. Coil spring compressor. There was something else too, so I forgot to write it down. Oh, wheel bearing grease. We get a fresh can of wheel bearing grease, so we got plenty of that to put on there. So we can put that rotor on there. And yeah, I think I got enough brake fluid, but okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, I got that deal on there. Yeah, that little bag of new bolts came in handy. But they give 6 bolts and it only takes 2. And then this bolt came with that. So I'm not sure what the other 2 bolts are for. Anyway, we just set that on there. Nothing's tight. Pretty sure that's the way that goes. Then the rotor, wheel bearing and everything go on there. And then the calipers bolt there. Okay, so the springs. Oh, yeah, I think I had a problem with the springs on that Nomad. Anyway, these are the exact same size and everything as the old ones. You can see this, they stuck in 3 spacers there. Anyway, like I said, we're gonna try to get it up there with a jack. I used to do it all the time, and the last couple of times just had a real problem with it. To use a coil spring compressor, never used to. Yeah, well, anyway, you get that little lip right there, with this A-frame down, and jack it up. But we'll try it. If not, we'll have to wait till tomorrow to get the coil spring compressor. In the meantime, we can get the other side, and once we get the other side like this, and we can end the coil springs in there, we can start putting a front end in. There's a sway bar bushing thing there and bracket. That'll come along there, bolt into there, the end. We'll do that all last. Okay, I'm just giving you step by step as I'm doing it. There's no instructions came with this, so at least not that I've seen. We're just kind of winging it. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, got a guy coming to buy the Mercury 69 Mercury Comet, coming from Fort Worth. So I've been screwing around with this, putting on all the brakes were locked up, all the tires were flat. So changed all 4 tires, rounded up some, I don't know what they are, Honda, Nissan type rims. They're bigger centers, they're smaller centers, so you only fit 2 lugs on there. Just enough to get it on his trailer. Got the drums off this one with a big deal puller, but the front ones wouldn't come off. But the right front started turning, but this one's not turning, so he's gonna have to drag that one up. The Mustang convertible that was here, I mentioned I sold that. Guy was happy as a clam to buy it. He's gonna restore it. He's got a few of them, few Mustangs. This guy really wants it, but according to his profile, stuff that he's selling a bunch of old Mercuries and Fords like this, Fairlanes, Galaxies, 68, 69s, parting them out and stuff. So I don't know what his plans are, probably just to flip it real quick or part it out or something. who knows? Anyway, they're both going to better homes than here, because I ain't fixing them. So we just got the 73 Le Mans to go. You know, and somebody commented, oh, you should have spent that money on the 67. Yeah, I spent $300 each car, $900, and I sold two of them for $1,500 each. That's $3,000. So that's $3,000 I could put into this instead of $600. So do the math. That's why I buy the cars for cheap. Anyway, back on the 67. Got the coil spring and shock on here. I went ahead and got the coil spring compressor rental from AutoZone. Well, you know, you gotta hang on. I got the radio going here.
For the trendsetter, start with affordable beauty kits.
You gotta pay for it, I think $50, and then you just get a refund when you bring it back. So it's not easy. Yeah, there's no weight in here, no engine or nothing, so you can't jack it up in there. I don't know. Like I said, I used to just put it in that lip there. Yeah, it's windy out today and like 52 degrees, but anyway, I'll show you how I did it on this side a little bit. Got the idler arm on, like I said, the steering box. We got the here's the steering system here, steering box, idler arm, and the center link and tie rods. We got to put them together, bolt them on there. Yeah, and it's just the old parts there and there. We'll just keep it around for stuff. I got to still take off the cross member, you know, match up the brake lines, stuff like that. I'm not sure what these little clips are. I don't know, fuel line or something. Yeah, we'll just keep it here for in case I need anything, but we're getting there. I might put this over top the old parts for the new parts for morning dew doesn't get on them. So we're getting down to it. Pretty sure that's the way that goes on, and just pretty much got to put the rotor and the wheel bearings, pack the wheel bearings. I got some wheel bearing grease and some brake fluid and stuff, and then mount the caliper on there. So should be able to get all that done. And there's a steering link, sway bar ends. Got the sway bar off right here, and I was gonna pour 15 it, but first before I put it on, but probably do it afterwards. Same with them little knuckle things there. So anyway, we got this stuff here to go, so I'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, this is the coil spring compressor you get from AutoZone. So what I'm gonna do is put that washer on there, put this through the shock where the shock goes, and here's a coil spring here. Now this doesn't have a lip on the top of this that I can feel. I'm going to check on the other one like this does. See, this got a lip right there where this goes, so you want to line that up. Now you would put this in there lower than I'm showing you, but like that, and put that in there, and then put that rod into here, and we'll use an impact and spring it up. Problem is it's going to be like right here, the bottom, and you need it. Well, we'll get it as far as we can up, and then I'll show you. You got to squeeze it over with a crowbar and pop the end here up into this little groove. And then once you get that, then you can use a jack and jack this up and get it right in there. And then undo this rod and put on the spindle and put the nuts on there and hold it in place. And the only tricky thing is getting this out. I think there's a couple of different ways of doing it, because I remember using this, but I don't know. Anyway, getting this out, you got to bring it out through the coils here. And what you got to do, you got a little port of power with the deal on it that goes like this. You got to put that on there, open it up. This is going to be way down here though. You put that on there and spread that just a hair, and then this will pull out. Okay, so let me get the rod in this set up and start compressing it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you get it in there like that. Have this bottom deal kind of lined up with this here, and then just impact it down in there. Okay, so let me do that, and then we'll get this. Like I said, you gotta pop that over that lip there. Let me do it some more, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we get the jack underneath the bottom A-frame. Bring that up. See, and you're just off a little bit, and you can try to tap it with a hammer. Get a little closer, but you have to use a crowbar. I don't know if I can do it with one hand. Anyway, stick the crowbar in there, right there. Is that it? That's it right there. So it's popped over that lip, and then put a little tension on it. There we go, see it? Pop right in there. Okay. It's off the jack stand a little bit, so that's about as high as it's gonna go. Okay, then you can, we don't want to undo it yet. We want to get the spindle on there, and then we can, I guess I could have left that on there. Well, yeah, we need to move this up and down. Get the spindle on. So we put the spindle on there like that. That ball joint ain't moving too good. Okay, then just get the nut started. The big one there, get that started. Get a couple threads going on it, and then push this down. You have to jack it up a little bit, but anyway, get the thread started on that one, and then you can tighten them up some more. Then we can take this out. So let me get that on there. I'll be right back. Okay, so we got these started here on the ball joints, and we'll loosen this up. Although it's a little, hang out, might not be able to get that. I might have to, it's right in the deal there. Anyway, you got to loosen that and take that completely out. Let me figure out how to do that. I'll be right back. Okay, I just had to loosen that top A-frame out a little bit so I can get that socket on there. So just take the rod all the way out. There it is there. A little hot. Okay. So that's out. Now, that's the problem of getting this out, see? So, use this porta power. Stick that in there like that. Spread it just to here. And there it is. Yeah, without that porta power, you can't get it out. Okay, so then you just put in the shock and then tighten these down. This one here, the ball joint will turn, so you gotta get an impact on it. And then put your cotter pin in there and there. Okay, so let me do that, and then we can hook up the sway bar to here and here. Okay, be right back. Okay guys, the Comet is gone. He didn't want the old tires. Well, went right up on his trailer since I got 3 tires free, brakes that were locked up, but the left front I couldn't get that drum off, so it dragged up there. But anyway, he didn't want that, and he didn't want the bench seat. I think somebody commented a while back that they wanted the bench seat. Anyway, yeah, he said he's gonna fix it up. Not gonna sell it. He's gonna make a Cale Yarborough NASCAR tribute car out of it. He said it has to be a 69. He said he liked the 69, and he liked the that it's a standard, because he's going to put a 5-speed in it. He said he wanted all the pedals and everything, and tell me all this stuff. He has big plans for it, so said he'll send me a video when it's done. Said, yeah, okay. So, then he said there was a little bit more damage on that trunk area than he thought, so he talked me down $200. So I sold it to him for $1,300, and paid $300. So I made $1,000. Didn't put a penny into it. That's the way to do it. Okay, so I got this all together. Got the sway bar mounted in there, shock mounted in. I think I'm gonna go in for something to eat. Man, it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't so windy out today, but anyway, it's getting late, but might have to finish this up tomorrow. Yeah, there's sway bar end links, sway bar bushings and mounts. Got that on there. This is just sitting on there. We'll figure out them tomorrow. Anyway, we got the rotors and calipers to do, and then I got the tie rod ends. I just went by the old ones here. They were about 10 threads on each side, so I put them in there like that. Center link, I'm going to make sure you're on the right side. You got the smaller one here for the pitman arm and the longer one for the idler arm. But this side had about 4 or so little threads. This one's probably got 5 or 6. So, you know, Dukes of Hazzard, they probably bent the frame. That frame is bent and cracked, and even taking it apart there, found more cracks in it. And been fixed, little welds and stuff. Where was it? Big old crack here, and there was another crack somewhere else. Just a mess. So probably had an alignment over the years where it was. So we're just going to put it in like that. I adjusted that 10 threads, and have to get alignment later on it. So anyway, pretty much got that ready to go. We just need to get that steering that pitman arm in the right place and mount all that on. Probably do it all tomorrow. Wrap it up. Oh, then we got the brake booster and stuff. But anyway, just coming along. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, guys, next day. Fixing to do the rotors and calipers. So, just test fitting them on there before I grease them up and put the seal and everything. Comes real close to that big bolt right there, but it hit before I put the bearing in. So, I don't know. I had this Camaro part. It's a bit different. These are all copies of 70s maybe. GM. So here's that's a little washer, and this is the front little bearing. It's a little bearing here, and the washer, and then the big bearing goes on. It actually goes right in there like that, and then you got a seal. Forget which way that goes in, probably that way. So you want to grease these bearings up real good, and then we'll put that in, fill the middle in with grease, and then do the front bearing. So this is all greased up. So yeah, once we get that bolted on there, the caliper I fit it on, it goes on. It's marked left and right. That goes at the back, so I think it goes in. Yeah, it goes in like that. But yeah, let me get these. I got some wheel bearing grease there from AutoZone. I grease them up, put them on there, and you tighten this nut all the way, then let it off about a quarter turn, and put your cotter pin in there. The kit comes with the cotter pins and the caps and all that stuff, and the caliper bolts and the brake pads. So let me get that on. I'll be back. Okay, guys, packed it all full of grease, put the cap on. There's the caliper, just the two bolts that slide in. The threads are right in there. But yeah, you just put the brake pads in like this one here. These ones go in with that rod. They just slide in like that. Lay it over the rotor and put in those two deals here, and that's it. So, and yeah, we got to grease up all these ball joints and stuff there. Even the bushings here got a little nipple on them. Just got to remember to do all that. So yeah, she's hitting a brake pad there, but make sure before you put the caliper on, it's nice and free and everything. And yeah, it's just hitting the brakes a little bit. And I put some oil, had some old oil here, and just put a little bit of oil around there to keep it from rusting, because it'll be a while before this thing's on the road and covered up by wheels and everything. It's going to get rained on and everything else. Yeah, the only thing, this is how it's tilted over the rotor, and these ones are kind of the opposite. They're tilted that way, but that's the only way it fits on there. It's not gonna, it doesn't go the other way, even if you reversed them, because you got to have this center piece in here. So yeah, this side here, just got to tighten up all the bolts, and we'll do this side the same way. And I tightened up all the A-frame bolts here, bottom A-frame bolts, tighten these back up. Yeah, this one's going to be off. You can tell by center of that shock bolt there. This one's got a space in between it. So yeah, she's gonna have to be shimmed. There was no shims in this side, and there was just one little thin shim right there, and that was it. Usually these cars got a whole bunch of shims everywhere, but anyway, let me do this side, and then we're gonna hook up this column. I got it loose from the dash, unbolted from the dash sitting there. We'll prop that up and slide this. I got some masking tape over it. Slide that into there, tighten that up, and we'll get it centered right in the center. That's how that one was. So and then once we get that centered, we can put that pitman arm on. It did come with a bolt or a nut. It did come with a new nut and washer and a little rubber thing there. But yeah, once we get it centered, we'll put that pitman arm on and hook up the whole front end deal. Still sitting over here. We'll hook up all that center link and tie rod ends and bolt it all up. Okay, I'll be back when I start doing that. Okay guys, I just placed the tie rods and center link and idler arm on there. Nothing's tight. Yeah, this one did need to be turned in a little bit. So yeah, this was like 10 threads, and this one was, you know, half of that. So I just kind of got it even. Then I turned the steering box to halfway. It was like 4 1/4 turns. So I got it about in the middle, and that's where it lined up. So that should be good there. But I can't seem to get this on there. I think this is a little bit bigger. I tried to measure it with a piece of masking tape. I think it's a little bit thinner, or this one's wider than the other one. So the other parts Camaro's got this rag joint's not very good anyway. The one on the 77 Camaro looks better. So I think I'll try to unbolt that and see if that one fits on there. You know. So other than that, it's pretty much done, other than the brake booster, master cylinder, and brake lines. But yeah, I'd like to get that column hooked up, and then we'll sand and paint the bare spots, and maybe paint the rest of this flat black, or there was gloss. Paint it shiny black. But yeah, she's almost done. But anyway, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll try to tackle it. Wanted to mention there was no rubber, I don't know what they're called, isolators on the top or the bottom of the coil springs. Some cars have them, but they weren't in that A-frame. I know yeah, it's 58 years old, so they could have disintegrated and been gone. But I've tried to put them in the past, and unless they're really thin, they're hard to get in, because any longer than the factory, they're harder to get in. We had been really struggling. That you know, I showed you that when it popped right in, but you get a big isolator on there, like 1 inch or something, it's not gonna go on very easy. So anyway, I left them out. Don't know if they were in there from the factory or not, but yeah, I'm not gonna redo it all. So anyway, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, and as soon as that sun goes down, man, it's cold. Had 2 days in the 50s, and then going back up to the 70s there tomorrow. Well, like 68 or something tomorrow, and then 75 and 80 the next few days. Get back to normal. But anyway, be back tomorrow. Okay, guys. Took this rag joint off. The original one, it just crumbled as I undone the two bolts. It just fell apart. So that was no good, and it wasn't going to last very long. So I took the one right here off the 77 Camaro, and it was the same size. This shaft here is bigger than the original. So I spread these apart with a crowbar and a big, those two deals there. But it's not going to work. You can't get the bolt through there. It's going to hit. So looked around all my cars. I got a big old Pontiac back there. I got that 77 Chevelle parts car. I got a 69 Chevelle parts car. I got a couple of Chevelle steering columns in the shed here, and they're all missing. All the rag joints are missing, or steering columns. So then I looked at some trucks, some Blazers and Suburbans and stuff I have. No, they're not. They're all different. So I don't have one that fits. And then I got the old Nomad steering box over here, because I did the same thing, put a new steering box on this. So that's the shaft I need. So, or that's the big shaft, like the one that's on there. So A bodies. So I'm gonna have to buy one of them rag joint deals for A bodies. I think I bought one for the Nomad. I was trying to find the old one. I got so much crap over here that I can't find them. I should have a couple of them laying around, but they're gonna be crappy. But I think I ordered a new one. It was about 50 bucks, but who knows, it's probably twice as much now. So the whole little assembly there with the rag joint and the deal that goes over top, I'm just gonna have to buy a new one. So yeah, I'm stuck on that. I wanted to get that and the column mounted back in there. And then we just got maybe have to round up some bolts for the motor mounts. They're not that important. Basically, we got these two brake lines for the front, and then the booster and the master cylinder and all the proportioning valve and all that. All these are for the tie rods and idler arm and stuff. We'll go ahead and put all that on, tighten them up, put them on there, and lube it all up. But yeah, for the rear brake line, I disconnected it from the Blazer, right? I think that's it, right? Yeah, I got it taped up. From the Blazer, that line should go all the way to the front master cylinder. And I didn't take that line off the Blazer because I think it's underneath the gas tank. I may have to pull the gas tank out of that Blazer to get it. So I wanted to get that whole line from here, and then it should come up through. I think this is the rear brake line here, the factory one. Or yeah, I don't know which one is it. It could be this one here. No, that one. Anyway, we need to grab that, and it should be able to screw into that one. So we need to do that as well. That's going to take some time, pulling that, doing all this stuff. So I think we'll leave the video at that. We got the disc brake conversion and steering box and all the steering stuff and coil springs and shocks and sway bar. We got all that on there. We'll just have to come back for like part 2 and put on all the brake stuff and the brake lines and the brake hoses. You know, the hoses who go from here up to here, and then a line into here. I think that's probably what these ones were. But so yeah, and then to get the motor mounts in there. Yeah, so we'll come back for part 2 of this, but this is, you know, most of it. This is, you know, showed you all the parts. These are the kit. If you're doing a conversion, that's all the stuff you need, and then you got to buy all the extra stuff, all the steering and steering box and coil springs and shocks and sway bar bushings and crap like that. So just be prepared. If you're doing any front end work, it's probably going to be double what you think it is. So yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, concerning the China tariffs, I thought they were 47%, but Trump just mentioned there yesterday it was 48%. So it's 48%. It was 58. He took 10% off for the fentanyl thing to make the deal to get his. Anyway, yeah. So it's 48 plus. People keep forgetting 25% auto tariffs, auto parts tariffs on every country. So 48 plus 25. So that's what, 73%. That's what we're paying more. We're paying 73% more for parts from China. India still 50%. Add the 25, that's 75%. That's why none of these parts had India on them. And I think I mentioned the Turkey, but not most of the parts. I can't remember which ones came from Turkey. Not all of them, just I don't know, it's either the tie rods or the idler arm or something came from Turkey, not all of it. Some boxes were unmarked of where they came from, so we don't know. You know, that's another loophole they use. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that, and we'll mention the other propaganda he spews about, you know, because he mentions something and then he says it every day for 2 weeks straight. Says it every day at every news conference. He claims all he did was read a headline that Walmart says Thanksgiving dinners are 25% cheaper this year. That's it. That's all he read. And that's it. He spews that out. See, food's cheaper this year. Food's 25% cheaper. Now, if you read the article, it went from 21 items to 15 items. All the name brand foods in this dinner have been generic brands converted to make it cheaper. So yeah, it's 25% cheaper than last year's meal. Last year's meal, if it was compared to this year's meal with the same brands and the same items, would be 25% more. See, a reporter tried to tell him that. No, he didn't want to hear it. Called them fake news. I read the headlines. So that's pure propaganda, guys. Food is not 25% cheaper. It's 25% more. Y'all, you know, y'all eat, so y'all shop. You should know. So yeah, I don't believe any of the propaganda coming out of his mouth. It's just all bullshit. All bullshit. Him and that Scott Bessant, Secretary Treasurer. You know, that guy used to be a hedge fund manager. He lost 90% of people's money. The guy's a crook. The guy's a liar, propagandist. But he said one thing. Everything he says is a lie, except for one thing he said the other day, and that was that some sectors of the economy are in recession. He probably accidentally said that. He wasn't supposed to say it, but he admitted it. But everything else that he says is all bullshit. So, guys, we're in for it. We're in for, you know, We're in for fake numbers coming out. We're in for lies, propaganda, and just pure bullshit for probably the next 3 years. But you'll feel it. The economy's feeling it. Some sectors, well, I would say probably most sectors are feeling it. 1 million jobs lost. That's a lot of jobs. You know, somebody you know probably lost their job due to this stuff, and it's just going to get worse. You'll see your neighbor or yourself losing your job, and you know, I don't understand it. I just picture a MAGA hat wearing person standing there in a food line with no job, no health insurance, and no home, still saying we're winning. You know, that's, you know, don't be like that. He's a liar. He's not everything he does, everything he wants is the opposite result. Wants more manufacturing, manufacturing's down. It's hemorrhaging jobs, they're going away. Wants more jobs, it's losing jobs. You know, and everything else, prices of stuff, inflation, everything's up. And he'll still say the opposite. He'll still every day, oh yeah, food prices are down, inflation's down. All bullshit, all bullshit. And if you're a reporter that questions him at the press conferences, you're out. And he sticks in somebody from, you know, one of those other propaganda stations there, right wing. So the reporters can barely question him and tell him that he's wrong, or else they're gone. So, yeah, somebody from Newsmax or one of them other right-wing, Breitbart and all that. So, yeah, that's what's happening, guys. And it's just going to get worse. So, yeah, I won't be building any more cars like this, buying extensive parts like this. I'll probably, well, probably end like this too, although I had most of the parts. Still $1,000 just to get the engine running, all the tune-up stuff and the hoses and the antifreeze and the fluids and all the crap. So you can't even do one that you have an engine for, you have a transmission for, you have some wheels, you have all the parts and boxes to put it together. You're still spending, you know, I got $3,500 into this, including $1,000 to buy it, so I got $2,500 into it. I had to spend $2,500. So yeah, I'll probably stop doing jobs like this, or building cars like this and building cars like this, because it's too much money. Oh, and the other thing I want to mention, the biggest odds maker website has Trump winning the Supreme Court, 22% chance of winning. So there you go, guys. He's got a 78% chance of losing. The second biggest odds website has him at 30%. So yeah, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I think the Supreme Court, they have to go by the law. They have to go by the law, and the law, the thing that Trump is using, does not mention tariffs. The 1977 Emergency Act of something does not mention tariffs. He does not have tariff power. Tariff and tax power is delegated to the Congress. Of course, they're run by Republicans. I think what the Supreme Court will do is to tell Congress to make it clear that you're ceding your power, tariff power, to Trump, to the executive branch. They're going to have to do it legally, vote on it, and all that stuff, because they haven't done any of that yet. There was no need to. So let's, you know, we'll see which representatives vote for that and kick them out, because it's bullshit. These tariffs, they've never worked in history. They've never worked. All they do is the American businesses pay the tariffs and pass on the cost to us. Other countries don't pay the tariffs, as Trump thinks they do. They don't. But he'll never admit he's wrong. So I don't know, you know, he just reads headlines, he reads whatever, He doesn't know, he doesn't read the whole story. He doesn't understand stuff, how tariffs work and all that stuff. He just, you know, reads a headline or something, and it's all bullshit. So, and he's got all yes men around him. There's nobody that's going to stand up to him and say, hey, you're wrong about that, you know, because this will hurt the economy, and he don't want to hear it. You're out. Gets a loyalist in there that just, all he does is nod his head, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. It's bullshit to run a country like that with a friggin' moron at the helm that doesn't know what he's doing. So yeah, the economy's going to get worse, guys. So anyway, that's my little rant. Since I ranted at the beginning, I'll rant at the end. That's it. So anyway, yeah, we'll come back next video and do that. You know, it's the middle of the day. I got a part in. I'm trying to get the 96 Trans Am running. So I'm going to do that right now. That'll be the next video after this. So stay tuned for that. And like, comment, subscribe, all that. And we'll see y'all next video. Thanks everybody for watching.